President Obama is a hawk on Afghanistan and Pakistan. He's not a hawk on Iraq. But it's a complex position, and you could wonder, why be opposed to a troop surge in Iraq, but be in favor of one for Afghanistan. Well, Osama bin Laden probably isn't very relevant anymore. His organization's capacities have been deeply degraded. Bin Laden issued a fatwa of death against a group of Arab intellectuals in places like Kuwait. Nobody paid the slightest attention to it. Some of the people didn't know they had been targeted by him. Al-Qaeda, in that old sense, as an organization, may be history. President Obama has talked about speaking with the Iranian government, and there's some thinking now that he may write a letter to the supreme leader in Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who is the real power in that country. He's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and the American press, the public, have concentrated a lot on President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who's kind of a quirky figure, makes for great copy, but isn't very powerful. He's kind of like our Secretary of the Interior. The Hamas has benefited from the Israeli attack on them and on Gaza in the winter. The opinion polls show that they have a lot more street cred with the Palestinians now than they had before. So this is not a promising picture here. And the problem, of course, is that situation is one that does anger a lot of people around the world, Muslims and non-Muslims. And the Palestinians continue to be stateless. They continue to have their property expropriated. They continue really in Gaza to be blockaded, so there's not enough food going in there for the children. And that's not a viable situation. So I think the best we can hope for is that Obama can negotiate some kind of situation where the blockade is lifted at least, but a sort of comprehensive peace seems a ways off. It's increasingly not plausible that you would get a Palestinian state because Gaza is a small place. It's 1.5 million people. It's a vast kind of slum surrounded by the Israelis. There's no harbor. There's no airport. There were such things, but they were bombed by the Israelis. And then the West Bank has been, settled by the Israelis. Altogether, you've got over 400,000 settlers in there. It's become, even George W. Bush called it Swiss cheese. I think most troops will be out, almost all, by 2011. I think the Iraqis want it. I think the Iraqi government is now beginning to get, a professional army together that actually will obey orders, has equipment and stands and fights. I think what they're going to need from the United States is continued close air support. They don't have an air force. They'll want the U.S. Navy to patrol some of their waters to stop oil smuggling and terrorist infiltration. So I don't think that the U.S. Air Force or Navy are off the hook, but I think that the Marines and the infantry probably are coming out.